What's going on, love? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to your collective message of the day. Okay, for those of y'all who are new here, my name is Shani. This is Melanated Mindfulness Tarot. I typically upload daily collective messages for us all throughout the week. Winter, as the opportunity presents itself, I upload collective conversations and collective messages for each zodiac sign. So if those are things that you may be interested in, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, please and thank you. It will be greatly appreciated. And again, this is a collective message. Oh, if you are interested in following me on any of the other platforms, or if you're interested in booking a personal session via Zoom or phone call, make sure you check out the description area because all of that information will be there. Okay. So let's get into this message. Let's see what Spirit has in store for us. What is the message that we need to receive on today? Okay. All thanks and praise to the Most High, to the Creator, Source, the Alpha, the Omega, universal energy. You know our hearts and our situations. We ask that you can give us the cards that we need in order for us to be able to receive this message today with an open mind and an open heart. Ashe. We ask that you clear out anything standing in the way of our clarification, confirmation, transformation, and healing at this time. Ashe, ashe, asheo. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into this. Let's get into the message. It's coming. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get a couple more. A couple. That was a few. Okay. All right, listen. Underneath it all, we have the Knight of Wands, okay? The Knight of Wands is like, all right, it's time to go. Like, it's time for us to start putting in the action. No fears, no limiting beliefs, no worries, right? Just doing. Because when you put in the action necessary, when you start putting in action, different things become revealed to you, right? So holding yourself up or keeping yourself back, trying to make sure that everything is perfect before you actually start or get to a certain point, you gonna always be waiting. You gonna always be like, well, I'm waiting until this is perfected, or I'm waiting until that is perfected. This underneath it all card is like, nah, we not on that. We don't have time to keep on be waiting. And when the opportunity presents itself, then you start. Like, then you move forward. Then you put in the action that you need to put in order for you to be moving forward, regardless of what it seems like on the surface, right? It's just time. It is time to take action. It is time to move forward. Listen, be more gentle with yourself, and I'm saying that because this card comes behind the Knight of Wands. Be gentle with yourself. Be more like compassionate, more understanding, and things of that nature. Because in this time, it's very necessary. You may, like I said, be waiting until something seems perfect, but that's you kind of being hard on yourself. Because how do you learn how to perfect something if you're not actually doing it? You seeing these things in your mind, but once it comes time for you to start putting in the action, right? It's like it don't be, things might not work out in the way that you visualized it. But this is why you need to move forward. This is why you need to continuously be putting in that action, because that's how you gonna figure it out. Like the more you go, the more you grow. Let me say it like that, right? So keep that in mind. Underneath it all, it's time for you to start putting in whatever action you need to put in. And you're going to learn more and more. You're going to learn more and more as you go or along the way. Yes, and that's just that. So let's get into the message that we actually have with all these cards on the table. First, we have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is really telling you to start pouring into yourself. Really start loving on yourself, right? Showing up for yourself before you try to show up for anybody else. I always tell you, like, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you can only pour so much from a cup that's halfway full. This tis the season, right, for you to start pouring into yourself, which includes or goes back into you doing what you know you need to do in order for you to move towards your goals, move towards your dreams, the desired outcome that you want to experience. Um, you got another action card down here, the Prince of Wands. Okay, still moving, still going. Do y'all see like the action? Like it's like moving forward in this card, right? The lion down here is like determined to get to where they're going. You paying attention is like, okay, I'm ready. I'm paying attention to the things that are happening. I'm paying attention to what's going on with around me because it's a reflection of what's within me. It's helping me build my relationships. It's helping me understand things in a better way. You understand what I'm explaining? When you really start to learn yourself or get to know yourself, you start to be able to, I guess you want to say, like, understand, overstand everything and everybody else that you associate yourself with. And it comes from a compassionate place, right? It comes from a genuine place because now you're not being as judgmental as you were before and you're seeing things clearly. But you really have to start learning yourself, becoming more aware of yourself, and also pouring into yourself so that you won't feel like what you're doing or how you're moving for others is in vain. Your relationships are merely a reflection of who you are or who you've grown to be, up until now. And it's not saying that you can't change them, but you do all of these things by, pouring into you. There are some things that you be tolerating, some things that you are settling for, some things that you are not satisfied with when it comes to certain relationships with certain people. And now it's just like, okay, what do I need? Like, what's going on with me, right? Because it's even though the people are what's triggering you to see these things, it's really a what's going on with me? Why am I accepting certain things? Why am I tolerating certain shit? You understand what I'm explaining? And once again, once you start to pour into yourself, you become aware of yourself, recognizing the reasons, like the ways that you move, then you'll be able to see like why you have these connections with certain people, how you ended up in certain spaces or certain places with certain people, and things of that nature. You got the Four of Swords. So this is almost for me like the energy of isolation, right? Because in order for you to be able to think clearly, okay, in order for you to be able to think clearly, you're going to have to take a step back away from the daily distractions that are around you, right? These daily distractions are keeping you from being able to just like tap into yourself, keeping you from being able to see things from a different point of view because you are holding up or living by these expectations that have been set by other people. And it's time for you to take a step back, right? Even if it has to be little steps at a time. Take these necessary steps back so that you can recognize and realize where you actually need to start pouring into yourself. Like where you need to start showing up for yourself more, where you need to start appreciating yourself more. What are some of the things that you can do for you to have a better experience, right? And it doesn't have to do with or deal with anything or anybody outside of yourself. These things, these emotions, these energies, they come from you. The Seven of Discs is here as well. Okay? So this energy in itself is an indicator of like you not really wanting to move forward or you not really wanting to do certain things because you're afraid of feeling like a failure. You're afraid of leaving things and or people behind. However, like, you know how they say like you can't grab onto nothing new holding on to something old? Like if you have to be honest with yourself and decide like what is it that I want to experience? How do I see my life? How do I see myself? Where do I see myself, right? And then it's your responsibility to put yourself in alignment with that. It's your responsibility to show up for you, to do what you need to do, to let go of the things and or people that are not in your future. And you can use your mind to look into this space, right? So on a personal level, for me, when I tap into my higher self, when I tap into my future self, I pay attention to I pay attention to like what I'm doing, right? I pay attention to what I'm doing in that space. And anything that I'm not doing in that space, I put myself in a position to stop doing it now, right? Because if I can see that I'm not doing this in my future, I can see that I'm not doing certain things. I can see that certain people are not around. I can see that I'm not eating certain ways. I can see these things, right? So then I make the necessary adjustments, or start making position myself to start making the necessary adjustments that I need to in order for me to get in that space. And by doing so, then I open myself up to receiving or aligning with everything that is meant for me. This sun card, when this sun card come out, listen, this is literally all smiles. Do you hear me? When this sun card come out, look at the illustrations and the energy coming from this card. Like, yes, it's mine, give it to me. Like melodies from heaven just rain down on me. Everything that I've ever asked for, everything that I've ever wanted is starting to come to me. But again, you have to position yourself to receive. You have to open yourself up to receiving. And holding on to things that you know are not beneficial, or that you know are not conducive to the person that you are becoming or that you desire to be, right? Ain't no holding on to it. It's okay. Like it's more so the emotional attachments that keep you connected to things and people that, for lack of better words, no longer serves a purpose, right? Um, when you have certain experiences with people, of course they're meant, right? Those experiences are meant. But just because somebody enters your life at a certain point, that does not necessarily mean that they're going to always be there. That does not necessarily mean that they have to stay there, right? And we be trying to force stuff like that to happen, and not recognizing and realizing by doing so how much we complicate our own situations, right? Our own situations and our own circumstances. So even that, like, pay attention to what it is that you desire, what it is that you require, and start giving it to yourself first. If it's the love, if it's the appreciation, if it is the acknowledgement that you feel like you're not getting from these outside sources, make sure that you start pouring into yourself first. Because again, this Two of Cups is saying just that. This Two of Cups is saying just that. You want to, like I said, put yourself in a position to receive. And most times we show up and we just be pouring out. We be giving to our friends, our family members, our jobs, our children, if you have children. There, you just want to pay attention to how much you give opposed to how much you receive, right? And again, it doesn't have to be receiving from these other people first. But once you start to give to yourself, I promise you, you're going to open up some doors that's going to be like, oh, you're in the energy of receiving. Like you want to receive. And then the universe will align with that. So the universe will start sending you compliments. The universe will start sending you support. The universe will start sending you the things that you felt like you lacked, but you want to start giving it to yourself so that you can familiarize yourself with the energy itself, if that makes sense. Let me get one from out of the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck real quick before we get up out of here. Spirit, you know the accident situation. Can you please give us the cards that we need in order for us to be able to receive this message with an open mind and an open heart? Complacency came out. So again, this is the energy of you knowing, like, it's almost like I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I'm sitting here, nothing's changing. Like, I'm expecting these things, and nothing is giving what I think it's supposed to be given, right? That's because the giving starts with you. That's because the giving starts with you giving to you. Instead of trying to show up and please everybody else, start paying attention to, once again, what it is that you desire, what it is that you require from other people, and then you start giving that to yourself. And anybody who is not who does not end up being in alignment with that, then you will be okay with like, okay, you know what, that's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I don't want to force it. I'm okay with letting it go. No love lost, right? No love lost. I'm just doing what's best for me because I know what type of like life I desire to live. I know what type of relationships I desire to have, and certain ones that I've been holding on to for so long just ain't doing it, right? So be mindful of that because it's very necessary at this time. I cannot express enough how much you need to be pouring into yourself, showing up for yourself, appreciating yourself, acknowledging yourself, just loving yourself overall, right? Unconditionally loving yourself. And I know that it may be complicated to get into that space based on our upbringings, our experiences, the things that we've witnessed over time, but it's possible, right? If you're determined to move towards it and you just keep on moving towards it, okay? If you just be willing to start regardless of what it seems like on the surface, just go towards whatever it is that you know that you again desire and require, and watch it start showing up. I definitely hope that this assisted you in some type of way, gave you some type of clarity, some type of confirmation, helped you with your transformation, or assisted you in your healing process at this time. Make sure that you have the most amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.